Check, check, check. All right, all right. Had to get the mic right. Shout out, homie Andrew. I would have been on here for about an hour talking to muted. Oh shit. Check this song out, man. Jamming. Ram Dass come spit his little knowledge.
So, what you are facing as you start to pray with these planes of consciousness, these planes of reality, is that you are dealing with paradox that you must incorporate into your being. To be an impeccable warrior means that you are going to start to live simultaneously on many planes of reality, not go back and forth from one to the other. And there becomes the stinker in social action. Because for me to go into the plane of reality where I see that we are all one, and then come back into my separateness as an American where I am part of 6% of the population using 40% of the natural resources, and dealing with the fact that somebody is blind in India for want of an operation that costs $5, and that I'm going to use my next $5 to go to the movie.
I was a little jam with Ram Dass speaking. So, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Tonight I'm gonna be talking about the Magic Circles, and I wanted to go in a little bit about the chakras because I haven't talked to y'all about that yet, and I'm sure some people want to know the basis. I'll just go a little bit over it, and probably next video we can go more deep. Uh, oh, and yeah, if y'all didn't know, today was the shortest day of the year and is the longest night. It's the start of the winter solstice. I believe it starts at 10:30, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere around there. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, and I wanted to read something that Chris put up, my instructor from the magic class, about the winter solstice. It's pretty good. I guess let me read that for y'all. Um, the Holy King is gone, and the Old King now regains. Yule is the time of the old winter gods, held to Baldur, to Saturn, to Odin, held to Admerusu, to Demeter, held to Ra, to Horus, held to Phrygia, and I can't pronounce the other two. It is their season, and high in the heavens may they grant us their blessings on winter's day. Following up from the solstice, many of you may not know that tonight is the traditional beginning of the Yuletide. Although, let's be honest, we probably all been getting into the spirit for a while. Today, Yule and Yuletide are pretty synonymous with Christmas and Christmastide, but the meaning behind Yule is quite different from that of the Christian holiday. The word Yule itself comes from Old English Yule, which shares a history with the Old Norse Jul. Both these words refer to a midwinter festival centered around the winter solstice, which traditionally marked the halfway point of the winter season. After the solstice, the days once again began to grow longer. So we can think of Yule as a celebration of the reappearance of the sun and the fertile land's rebirth. If the solstice marks the release of the new tide, then Yule is the celebration of it. The acknowledgement of midwinter and the solstice has a long history in Britain and Europe, but it's not as clear cut as you might think. As far back as 3500 BC, we have places like Newgrange in Ireland that recognize the rising sun on the solstice, but we have no idea what kind of rituals or observance we've done. But the fact that the entire structure was oriented to the time period is obviously a big deal. Things get really weird since outside of a few curious monuments in southern England near me, there really isn't that much mention in history of people celebrating the midwinter festival. I had to break it to people, but I hate to break it to people, but there is almost no evidence that Yule is a Celtic festival. In fact, there is almost no mention of any kind of midwinter celebration in Celtic mythology at all. This is a little story he wrote about the winter solstice. But there are records from the early medieval period that say there was a midwinter festival at the time, so who knows? It must have come from somewhere. When the Romans came along, we get our first direct evidence of a straight up party timed with Saturnalia. The festival was dedicated to the god Saturn and began on December 17th in the Julian calendar and lasted for 4 or 5 days. While the 17th was almost always reserved for ritual and religious rites, all other days were a downright party. All sorts of dances and feasts went on. Gambling was legalized, masters would wait on their servants, and gifts would be given to friends and family to celebrate a wind down of the year and relaxing of restraints. At some point, a king of misrule would be elected for a few days, who was usually some random pleb, and they would give any crazy order and everyone had to follow it. Now, I'm not political, but I sure would love to see our politicians don crazy outfits and duke it out in a ring throwing snowballs at each other for a night. I don't know about you. Around the 9th century AD, the Vikings rocked up in England and brought their festival of Joel with them. The word itself actually means wheel, but comes from the same root as our word jolly, the word Joel, Jol, which feels pretty on point for this kind of time. Traditionally, Yule was a time of coming together with your kin and feasting to hunker down for the winter. Most commonly, the celebration consisted of a hearty feast and generally revelry, which included wassailing, caroling, drinking mostly cider or mead, and as Professor McGonagall tells us, it is a first and foremost a dance. A lot of the Christian bishops of the medieval period made a fuss over people dressing up as animals or leaving offerings by the fireplace for family spirits or guardians, which is also something you can do if you're up for it. The most common practice, however, is undoubtedly the bringing of the Yule log, and is something pretty simply to do. It was probably started by the Norse and acts to not only bring heat and light into the household when it's freezing outside, but also a symbolic aspect. Traditionally, the log is set away to burn up by the hearth fireplace on the eve of the solstice and is tended for 12 days, never being left to go out. Esoterically speaking, the fire represents the tide of cleansing and purification that has begun on the astral and serves to invoke the force into the family and your life. A modern version can be pretty simple. All you need to do is get a log, preferably from your garden or some natural place, and drill 3 holes in the top of it, big enough to hold candles. Alternatively, you can hammer 3 nails into the top and use them as candle spikes. Set the log on the hearth or whatever the spiritual center of the house is, perhaps the Christmas tree, and light the candles each evening for the 12 days and put them out before bed. It is up to you if you want to do an offering or ceremony for lighting candles. There are tons of Yuletide prayers that can be used to great effect that you can find online. Yeah. And so he says, for the Norse, Yule was likely a celebration of Odin and the wild hunt, hearing them roaming the skies. On the wind each evening, and all manner of supernatural activity was said to increase, which is probably where we get all the stories of Santa's elves roaming the house in the days leading up to Christmas. So remember, as the earth grows colder, the wind blows faster, the fire dwindles smaller, and the rains fall harder. Let the light of the sun find its way home. Happy Yuletide. Drink some eggnog, wrap some gifts, and be with friends and family. Thanks, Chris, for that amazing story. All right. So, all right, a little basics about the chakras. So we got the crown, which is the top of the head. This is ultraviolet color. It's how you receive the cosmic intelligence. Okay. Then we have the third eye, which is in between the brows. This is color indigo. This is for foreseeing, insight, truth. Um, your throat chakra is for communication, of course, but it's also for receiving information. Okay. This color is blue. Then we got the heart chakra, which is green. It's for love, expanding and contracting. Um, Then we have the solar plexus, which is right here, which would be the willpower. And then we have the sacral, which is right around the pubic area. This is, when it's colors yellow, and you can all look at these as stages of your life too. Like it's basically like a map, just like how the tree of life, and you can align this with the tree of life. So the pubic area would be like your puberty, you know what I'm saying? When you start getting wanting to mess with relating to something and another gender are the same, whatever you're into. Um, and then we have the root chakra, which is grounding, how to survive, stuff of that matter. Um, that's the last chakra or the first, however you want to look at it. Because I used to go from the down up, but now since I took a certain course with Jordan River, I look at it now from this coming from the top down because everything's pretty much backwards. If you watch my videos, I kind of explained it a little bit, and that's kind of what I want to go into about the magic circle. Is I want you to keep an open mind because a lot of these things are looked at as bad. So just hear what I have to say, and we could tie this into like religions or the Bible and magic. Uh, Because, I mean, this is the thing about the miracles. They couldn't really tell the difference. Like, the church would call them the miracles and stuff, but some people would say it's magic. Uh, and when Jesus was walking on water and all this, healing people and stuff like that, it was magic. And I'm actually taking another course right now about plant medicine, and it's finding out some pretty interesting stuff about the Bible. How some people say that the Bible was probably written up from hallucinogen, like people taking psychedelics and having visions and writing them down and stuff like that. So like, just try to keep everything in an open mind, not just try to read through the lines, but read it first and then you know, use common sense out of it. Because I think people try to dive so deep in the Bible that they get lost and confused. So just try to keep an open mind about everything. So the concept of a magic circle is means of a protection also dates back to the very dawn of civilization and is formed all around the world in various cultures. So this was being done since the dawn of civilization. Sorry. Uh, the Ramayana epic of ancient India, written around the 4th and 5th century BC, has a section where Larshman draws a circle around Sita to protect him from a demon. The absolute the absolute earliest from however dates back to the Sumerians mentioned in the Maklu tablets. We find a concept known as the Zisuru. Zisuru. This is a certain circle that they made for protection. And so the basics of it, you would I'll go into it, but you make the circle, uh, and you put your elements north, east, west, south, uh, like water, air, fire, earth, spirit, and then you put your names around it, like whoever you want to call up to, like angels or gods or whoever you're calling to for protection. So all the circle is for protection. The absolute early Zisru appears to have been a kind of magic circle drawn with a mixture of flour and water around either the magician themselves or the bed of a person who was supposedly possessed to protect them. Water was sacred to uh, Ea, uh, the Sumerian Enki, while flour was sacred to corn god Nisabu. So the water was sacred to Anki, and the flour was sacred to the corn god Nisabu. It would be incorrect to translate it directly as a magic circle, though in a more literal translation would be barrier or perhaps ban, ban, taken after the ban conjuration said to activate it. The circle was supposedly inscribed with the cuneiform Zisurua, hence the name, and involved ritual drawings with a variety of powdered cereals of flour to counter different threats. So the flour, and people use salt and stuff like that, is to counter the lower spirits. The Maglu tablets instruct that during the exorcism you encircle the bed with flour plate and recite the opening incantation and the Tumubitu incantation. Unclear what these are. So this was a certain incantation they did before they did the actual thing. Like they put the flower around the bed for the exorcism and did this incarnation, but we don't know what it is. This is like way back in time. The circle would be concealed and therefore activated with the bonbon incantation. So like it would be like you'll get in the circle, put your names, put your candles, your elements, whatever how you do your circle. And when you get into it, you'll learn and you'll see what resonates with you and so forth. So the incantation was be like, all right, now my circle is empowered. So this is what they're saying. It's activated, and they use the bonbon incantation, which was ban, a certain incantation they did back in the day, which we don't know exactly what they did uh, for that incantation at least, because there's plenty of they call them grimoires and books of shadow, which are people's spells and people's magic circles that they made. O Zisseru that nor can pass, Zisseru of the gods that none may break, Zisseru of heaven and earth that none can change, which no god may annul, nor god no man can loose. A snare without escape set against evil, a net whence none can issue forth, spread against evil, whether it be evil spirit, demon, ghost. We crossed out demon because we just know that means Damon now. Our ghost, our evil devil, our evil god, our evil friend, our laboratu, our ghoul. So there's and I actually have this freaking underlined because these are like all the things that can attack against you. Sprite, our phantom, our wrath, our servant of phantom, our evil plague, our fever sickness, our unclean disease, which hath attacked the shining waters of which is Inky, I believe. Yeah, May the snare of catch it, or which hath assailed the meal of Nisbu. May the net of Nisabu entrap it. So they're saying like let these gods Inki and Nisabu and I A EA EA. I think that's how you say it. EA literally. And so this is the circle of Zisuru. So like if you want to look it up, I think they have it picture of it fully. This is just the basic of it. And each one of these means something. And I think I might have it what descriptive what it is. So yeah, so basically it's the circle with the names and then the points east, west, south, north, So during the early Bronze Age, the kingdom of Ibella, modern day Tel Murdoch, does that say Murdoch? Murdoch, I believe it says Murdoch, also flourished on the periphery of Mesopotamia. A fire, a palace from the city dubbed Palace G was destroyed, and luckily for us was archive library that was filled with lots of info that managed to survive in some forms, having been written in clay tablets. So this is how we know still of some of this knowledge because so a lot of the libraries and the books were burnt, but some of them being on clay tablets, the fire didn't actually destroy them; it made them more structured. There's a text in the Ebelectic archive that mentions the exorcism ritual involving 7 men and 7 women and some kind of black stone, possibly bath salt, for binding a demon who was plaguing the city. This is getting a little, but remember, keep your mind open. Babylon astrology was another form of infamous magic in the ancient world, and some scattered evidence suggests their observation formed the basis of our modern zodiac. In Babylon, well as war, as well as in Assyria as a direct offshoot of Babylonian culture, astrology takes its place as one of the two chief means at the disposal of the priests, who were called inspectors, for ex- asserting the will and intention of the gods. So, astrology takes place as one of the two chief means at the disposal of the priests, who were called inspectors, for asserting the will and intention of the gods. Energies and gods were thought to present themselves in the celestial image of the planets or stars with whom they were associated. By observing the seasonal movement of the sun, moon, and planets, the Babylonian connected the beliefs of the divine intervention in the inner everyday life to space and time. They would forecast their future circumstances by observing space through time and relating ominous events such as lunar eclipses to social, political, environmental problems and aspects of their everyday lives. The movements of the sun, moon, and 5 planets were regarded as representing the activity of the 5 gods and questioned together with the moon goddess, Sin, Celerity, and the sun god, Shamash, and preparing the occurrences on earth. If therefore one could correctly read and interpret the activity of these powers, one knew what the gods were aiming to bring about. So like the astrology, all this had to do with the priests, the inspectors. That's what they called them for looking at the stars, the sun and the moon, and the 5 planets, and they would say this is how the gods would structure reality and how everyday life was being played out and how you would react to the planets moving in your motion field because the moon controls the tides, the waters. So like the water, remember the waters is your emotions, your like your vibes, like your vibrations. So if you can look at the planets and know what they're doing, they say that it's the map of the gods. So Jupiter would be Murdoch, Venus would be Ishtar, Saturn would be Ninurta, Ninurta. Sorry, some of these words are freaking hard to pronounce. Mercury would be Nabu, Mars will be Nergal. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. So right here we got about Egyptian magic. Let's see what I want to talk to y'all about. I want to go a little bit more into something. Oh yeah. Let me find it. It's the magic circle, the basis on how to do it. That's what I wanted to show y'all. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I got so many notes that it don't make sense. But hey, I guess it does because I'm trying to get it out to y'all. I try to be, a vessel of truth and just try to get out because I feel like a lot of us been knocked to sleep from being misconcepted of things that have been written down and putting titles on things, and really we just start to limit ourselves. So like, remember, you're not the mind or the body, you're the spirit, and your spirit's in the mind and the body. You control this, you know what I'm saying? Don't let your thoughts control you. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, so it's not. Look, it's not even this. It's not even in this one, dude. It's in another one. Oh. uh, yeah, we can go into like sigils, uh, talisman. Here it goes. Talisman, charms, and stuff like that. Spells. Uh, We'll get into all that a little bit later. I'm still trying to keep people on the basic, not even basic, but like the beginnings of all the stages. So they will, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? Getting all scary. Oh, he's on some demonic shit. I'm trying to show y'all so that way y'all can see what's been doing our whole freaking lifetime. So, like I said, keep an open mind and, know that everything's energy. Start looking at stuff as frequency, vibration, and energy. All right. So you want to draw your circle. All right. So this, if you do this for your farthest, from the outer of your fingertips, that's where your aura field stops at. You can make it in your vision. You can make it as big as you want, small as you want, but make sure you make your circle at least this big from you. You know what I'm saying? That's your field right there. All right. Um, so you're gonna set up your north, south, east, and west. North being earth, south being fire, east being air, and west being water. All right. So if you have any kind of tools, you got, you could put the flour or the salt, however you want to do it. It's all your intention and your imagination that's doing this. Okay. So the more stronger your imagination, the better. And whatever intention you put into it, like if it's protection or if it's trying to do a spell or if it's simply meditating, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever you want to do, this is just to protect your bubble, you know what I'm saying? Your aura field. Like you gotta see it. You gotta feel it. Uh so you would put like the tools in the north, uh according to old tradition and my instructor. Tools in the north, wands, knives, staffs, salts, crystals. You could put your crystals all around, but I'm just giving you an example. You would, want to put all your tools right there. So after you got your circle set up, you've got your tools up, soak up the energy, just kind of take three big ins and out, inhales and exhales, three of them. Just soak up that energy right there, feel it, sense it. Pick up tools out of line the circle with fiery energy. Okay. So you're going to pick up your wand, your knife, your staff, or simply you could use your finger. Your finger is your wand. When you point and somebody looks, that's energy. It's your wand. So You're gonna start in the north and you're gonna go clockwise. All right. And whenever you mark the circle out, imagine fiery blue, energy like fiery energy coming out the wand and make that circle. This is your like your barrier, Um, as you're going, you could chant a rhyme or the divine names that you want to help you that you want to use or call on, or if you just simply have a you could do that just to help you focus on the blue energy going through, or the fiery energy. Um, Once back at north, place the tools down and walk inside the edge, bringing the circle to life. So now you're gonna go counterclockwise back to north, like bringing the circle to life. So like you made the circle clockwise, you come back to empower it. Okay. Call on any spirits, elementals, ascended masters, ancestors to empower the circle. When you're going counterclockwise. Um, Energy becomes, you'll feel it. The energy becomes sticky or dense once you stop. And I mean, that's when you stop. If you want to take it further, you can go in the middle of your circle and sit down and meditate. Or not, yeah, basically kind of meditate for like a good little minute or two and feel the energy getting more dense in your circle. And then from there, you can even vision roads coming from each cardinal point, north, east, west, south, like roads connecting you to the natural world. You know what I'm saying? Or you could connect to those elements, however you wanna, your imagination vision takes you. Uh, and just give roads lines coming into the body. So, and so once you did all this, then you go to work. You do whatever you want to do. Call upon you go in your meditation, call upon your spirits, invoke something, banish something, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm actually still learning about that, so I don't want to, you know, go and talk about some stuff I really don't know about, because then I'll look stupid. But like I said before, I don't really know anything. I'm just trying to help people get out of like being lost, you know. Uh, because I do believe there's a lot of people waking up, and I really don't even like to call it that no more. I rather say the truth, seeing the truth. So yeah, let's just focus on doing that, because I mean, I'm a truth seeker, and I'm sure a lot of y'all that are watching this are too. So um, once you're done with all that, you're gonna give the roads. Uh, so once the roads are like you connected your body to the roads, imagine all are the elements, whatever you did, angels, whatever. Imagine them coming into your body now. After you've done that with each cardinal point, uh, give thanks and go counterclockwise again in the circle with your tool and our wand or whatever your finger, whatever you have. And when you do that, say a prayer. It could be as easy as I set aside this circle and I end this right. That's letting the spirits and stuff of that nature know that you're done with the magic circle, and because you're not supposed to just leave out your magic circle. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you can do that, but you have to get your tool and open your circle up and make a pretty much like a road. It's real deep, but yeah, because if you just leave, you're kind of like disrespecting the spirits or the gods and stuff of that nature. So, believe what you want, but I do believe that the circle, the magic circle, or the uh what do they call it? They call it all kind of stuff. The banisher, the barrier, So, I the imagination and the stuff that when I make it, like the energy I put into it, like I feel protected. I don't know. It Just try it out and see for yourself. you know? Because remember, anything that somebody tells you or anything you read, anything that you heard came from that person's mind. So it's only half truth until you experience it. And then it becomes a more broader, fuller truth because you heard what the person said and then you went through it. So now you have wisdom. When you experience something, then you have wisdom. Knowledge is different from wisdom. Knowledge, is what I'm giving y'all. You know what I'm saying? When you go through it is when you get the wisdom. So the when you use the elements, fire would be the power of separation or becoming new. Water would be power of connection or becoming attached. Air would be the power of travel or becoming idealistic. Earth would be the power of stability or becoming organized. These will represent the elements. I think that's it. Let me see, let me see here, let me see, let me see. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be making tea soon, man. I found out this nice tea from one of the books I read, Ayurveda. It's a certain diet, and oh man, it's good. I'll probably end up talking about it. I think I actually mentioned something about it in one of my videos, but once I get some more knowledge on it and go through a couple things, I'll pull it up on here. And also, I kind of wanted to make another channel. Bringing my gaming in here. I don't know if y'all want to see my gaming videos, me clipping some people in their head, boy. Psst, pop. Nah. So yeah, so I guess tomorrow, if not tomorrow, because I have an interview tomorrow and a lot of stuff going on, but I'll still try to make a video for y'all. Uh, I'll go over a little bit more about the chakras. From the crown down to the root instead of the root to the crown. We're gonna take stuff a little bit backwards. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going backwards like us, but the things how we've been taught, I feel like been taught to us backwards, and we need to look at things from all points so we could bring it to the equilibrium. Remember the left, the pillar, and the right pillar, and then the middle pillar. Yeah, we gotta open up the mind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So. Yes, sir. Let me see, let me see, let me see. I don't know if y'all like me when I put the music. Leave a comment and let me know if y'all like me going out with the music or, I'm still learning all this. I want to get a green screen, so I don't even know how to use the green screen, but I'm gonna learn just for y'all. Shit. And Oh, so I just got setting up my bundle. I learned a little bit more new stuff to set it up more nice for y'all, and I'm giving everybody free trials that come in, so that way they can see how stuff is working, structure, and be like they don't want to just pay no money and come in and blah blah blah. And I'm about to get a video set up, so when you do join, I'll have a little live, or it's not gonna be live. It's gonna be like a little video of me showing you how to work the network and where to go, where to start, stuff of that matter. Alrighty. So let me put on something for y'all. Let me put on something. This is gonna be some new music I just got turned on to. Let's see what he talking about. Trippy. Hmm. It's a party. Hey y'all, we in that winter solstice. We finna go into a whole new level. Y'all better be ready for this shift. I'm trying to get y'all ready as best as I can. Shit, I don't even know if I'm ready. Hey, this is jamming. Yup. Shout out JoJo. Man.